Yeah, but he's not good.
He's probably a starter. That's just a quarterback.
Now, this is the controversial part. We've been on for an hour, and we're getting some more meat on the bone, which is more local for the people that are listening.
Everyone wants to hear.
Because it's the closest to us, and it's what we cover personally. And Bo and them is spent a lot of time up there at this school and over at the other school that we're fixing to lock up here on the screen. There's your 1 through 10 3A rankings. He likes Montgomery Catholic coming back. Piedmont to come in second there with what they're bringing back. Jack Hayes coming back in 5. Graduating a lot of players. Namath may be thinking what a lot of us think, that with you, it's like Alabama. I'll say it this way. You say, well, how many players did 5 lose? Well, I think they lost about 13. Man, who's still coaching up there? Coach Benfield, they'll be in the playoffs. Like Alabama, we lost a coordinator, all the line, quarterback. Saban's still there? Yes. Well, they're going to make the playoffs. So it's the same thing. They did lose a lot of players, but man, they were thumping noggins the other night against Mars Hill. Because I was standing on the sideline.
And this is going to sound very strange. And I told Reggie this earlier. This is actually comical, but it's true. Yeah. I've never seen more collisions in a 5 football game than I did the other night. Ever.
Yeah. He's right. And the Mars Hills guys, after the game, they were...
Not consecutive. I'm talking about just
Dudes,
every other game. Oh, my God.
One of the guys woke up and said, hey, we've never been hit that hard before.
That's the first thing he said.
And this is a jamboree.
Who was number 1? The dark-headed kid. We were talking about him,
Hunter
too.
Manchin.
And Anderson. And, of course, Dukes, man.
Anderson, a 9th grader.
Yeah.
He's knocking people out. Bro, I mean, pow.
But to his testament, I think he's right. Montgomery Catholic is...
That'd be favored.
That's obviously they went back
Oh,
on it.
We don't know what their new coaching staff's going to do, though, so that's going to be a big X factor. But as far as talent, there's nobody close to them. The only team close to them talent-wise would be Piedmont.
Kirk Johnson's still an incredible coach that just came into Montgomery Catholic. And look, when you got guys like T.J. Dudley and Jordan Thomas, and the quarterback's only going to be, a junior? I mean,
sophomore.
Sophomore. I mean, I knew he was young.
They played basketball and we went to...
they're
good.
I've heard
I just don't.
Favorite.
And look, I hate to say it, but I'm picking the South team this year to win 3A. I really think Montgomery Catholic beats, whether it's Piedmont or 5 or
Piedmont's going to
whoever.
be...
They're good, man.
Piedmont's going to be really good.
They have the Estes boy back.
Yeah, Austin Estes, Jack Hayes.
Jack, we seen him over there Saturday. Man,
they added a transfer from Welborn, Tanner McQueen, who be a pretty solid wide receiver for them.
Oh, he's a right wide receiver.
Yeah,
look,
who's their running backs this year?
That's the one position I think a lot of people don't really know about Piedmont right now. That's the one position
I'm sure he'll be good.
Kind of slacking on trying to fill.
I mean, it's not like he
look. You got what is his name? Max.
For the year.
Is it Holloway?
What you got? Yeah, Max Holloway's number 8.
Yeah, he's back too. I mean,
Coleman
Landon Smart,
Reed.
Defensively,
Epps,
Landon Johnson, 14. He's definitely going to play college. Brody Epps.
Their linebacker
has led them in tackles the last few years. I mean, they are loaded to the gills.
Well, it tells you how good this region is. When you got like Sachs and Ohatchee at 4 and 5, because Ohatchee's going to be good.
ASHA dropped the ball on Sachs, but
they did. 100%.
They didn't put them in the top 10.
They dropped the ball in Welborn too. It's a respect thing. It's a respect thing. That's what me and John Holder was talking about.
Plainview Bears at 7. We're looking forward to them playing 5 October the 1st. Oatman is 8. Welborn's at 9. Then you got Taylor Miller finishing top 10.
Listen to this. Sachs went over and beat Central Clay in a spring game. Mm-hmm. With their 2 starters out in the backfield.
What was the final?
They beat them by a couple of points. I don't care.
14,
so they beat Clay County.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like 14-7, 14-10, something like that. I can't
and
remember.
I'm sitting here going, hey, bro, with 2 starters in his backfield out, not even playing. And I'm sitting here going, dude, these dudes are for real.
He had one transfer though to Cherokee County. He's now the quarterback of Cherokee County, if I'm not mistaken.
Cherokee County.
From Sachs?
Yeah, from Sachs. I heard they had
really?
guy transferred.
Kate Hopper's a starter.
It's going to be the
Cherokee County.
Well, then I got misinformation, but
I
got a buddy that's from Sachs that told me he moved from Sachs, Cherokee County, because they.
You think he went to Cherokee County, Georgia?
I don't know. He said Cherokee County. I mean,
maybe
he meant running back instead of quarterback. I don't know, but he said quarterback because I thought the same thing too about Cade. I was like, I'll reassure tonight because I'll see.
He may not be starting. He may be there.
Maybe he can comment on it. I'm sure he's watching.
Well, he is saying he got this information for somebody.
Yeah,
so if it's wrong, it's not his fault.
It ain't for me.
He's just passing it off.
I'm just telling you, Jarrell, I know you're watching. You can comment in the section and clean us up on that and tell us who transferred Cherokee County and what it is about. But then I look at the rest of it.
Region 5.
Look, like you said, I think Piedmont.
They're going to win that region.
I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it.
Well, I mean,
this is hard to say it. I really don't want to say it. But, I mean,
It's
they're,
okay,
the,
I mean,
they're the
I'm
favorites.
sorry.
I mean,
Sorry,
they're the favorites.
But
But I think what Fife did Friday night is they completely threw everybody for a loop. They thought they weren't going to be
they
good.
did.
Because they're going to be
I
right
don't
back.
know. Did they though?
Well, you know
Deep
what's
down,
funny?
didn't you expect that?
I mean,
Hey, do you know what's funny about that though? There were some Geraldine guys at the game. They were standing on the fence, and Mars Hill went up 7-6, and the Geraldine guys were sitting there laughing, and I'm just like, it's only in the first quarter, buds, and I guarantee you, after Fife took control, I'm sure those smiles probably went away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
There's a lot of
any-
people looking at each other like. I'm not be honest with you. The
No,
biggest
again,
Fife,
our Fife
the,
going to be good again.
the biggest Fife homer on the planet, without a question, is Jason Bethune.
Yeah,
Not even close. The biggest Fife fan on the planet.
he's
We
got
call
a
him
Fife
Big Man.
tattoo on his back.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It's really
No,
bad.
no,
I've seen, I think you
No.
said to me one day I went up there.
Yeah, and he even come down. He said, "Dude, I was just hoping to keep it close with these cats, man. With what like with what we lost and how loaded they are." But he said, "I'm shocked, dude. When he says that, he's an honest dude. He'll tell you. He's like, he'll do a little bit of the coach benefit. I just don't know it. No, he was serious. He's like, man, I didn't think we were going to play with these
I
guys.
know I'll be there first round of the playoffs when they play us. That's probably where we're going to be in the first round next year. But,
Hey, it's just a way of life up there now.
I mean,
But
I got to go up there and freeze my
No
butt off
disrespect.
again this year, you know.
Name
I'm gonna bet y'all for the first time.
whoa,
Hey, y'all should have seen me up at 5
No.
last year in the second round. I was freezing my butt off up there in the
He's
stands
up
on the
there doing
radio.
this.
I wanted to give him my
I was
jacket.
like this.
I wanted to give him my jacket, but I was going to be cold too if I'd done that. So.
he come down on the field, talking nuts. He's doing this.
And I was so pumped about that game, man. I was like, man, look, this is Jet Smith's come out party.
Oh, yeah.
Still had 30 tackles that night. And then I looked at my girlfriend and I said, this is 5 if you didn't know.
How many
Welcome to
tackles
it.
did he?
But
I don't think it's like
a lot of people don't know this.
35 real
Did he
talk.
really have
like
30?
legit
Oh,
35.
he had 18.
He had 18 like legit tackles
Yeah.
at halftime. I don't care what anybody
How did we
says.
not notice that? I didn't notice that.
look,
I think I'm focused on Rowell.
Second
Yeah.
all time in the
Not
state
Rowell.
in actual tackles.
What, he make 600 or something?
Look, this is what it is.
Yeah, something
I don't
like
care what
that.
anybody says. I know Steve Smith told a guy, "You're on jet all night long," because that guy is everywhere. I mean, he was that.
That
he
was
that
You do know that the leading tackler in state history is from your school, don't you?
Etowah?
No, from where you went to high school.
I went to Etowah and Sardis for a year.
Oh, well, he from Sardis.
Oh.
Kevin,
What
his
was
daddy
name?
was a coach. Chris, he was a coach at Sardis in Crossville. Chris Garman.
Garmin?
Kyle.
Kyle Garner.
Kyle Garman's the
Number
leading
2?
tackler in
Is
state
he?
history.
Number
He's got
2?
over 600.
Jet
I didn't
Smith.
know that.
He
Oh,
was.
so-
There we go again.
Hey,
I thought
Welburn.
Jet broke his record last year.
He might have.
Hey, Welburn.
They said that on the HS
Okay.
in the game.
Five. The last game Fife was healthy was the Welburn game
And I'll tell you this.
when they started it, and
And-
then Malachi went out, and then from there every week.
Eli.
And not that it would have changed anything. Not that
They
it,
showed me that
you
picture
know,
of his foot that night. You
Yeah.
know,
Not that it would have changed anything by any stretch of the means, but Welburn also wasn't fully healthy that game. You know, I mean, look, we started a freshman that had never started that game at fullback. You know, and I think Coach really, the truth is, he started putting guys in for this year for experience. I mean, you look in the second half, guys that were playing were backups.
Right.
I mean,
So
you know,
you're
you still
looking
had
for-
Jet and some of them on the field, but I think Sachs is look. I really think them and Ohatchee's an interesting game, but I think Sachs, they're back. They're going to compete with Piedmont for the region championship. I think what Scott's got though, I think they're gonna get third.
what about Ohatchee?
But I think Ohatchee has a.
Enos?
I mean,
I think
what you
Ohatchee
he
has a
is?
trap game, and that trap game is Welburn. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you why I think this.
I
A lot
agree.
of people think Welburn's going to be really bad because they lost Jet Smith and lost all these guys. I watched them in the spring game play Jacksonville. Team is going to be really good. And it was 7-6 us at halftime. And we started each drive on the 20. We finished each drive inside the Jacksonville 20. It was turnovers or fumbles. And I do think that, and I don't care if this is a freeze take, I think Welburn has the best running back, not talking about quarterback, but running back in the region. Jesse Lewis, who's going to be a junior this year. He was the backup last year. Came in against Hoax Bluff, first snap, touchdown. Came in against Fife in the second half, first snap, touchdown. Guy's shifty. He's smart. He's really good. And then you've got Xavier Parker, who's going to be the wing back. You've got a guy that moved from Sachs to Welburn, and Kevin Clark, who will be linebacker, fullback. And then the quarterback is Grayson Johnson, who, of course, is But for our offense, you don't have to be some big fancy
have to
quarterback.
throw for 100
You just got to be able
yards.
to and he's got an arm, but you just got to be able to hand the ball off. So I think Jesse Lewis and Xavier and them guys are along. I think because of that speed, that's why I like them over Hooks Bluff and those bottom tier teams. But I think Ohatchee's a very interesting game because here's the thing. Ohatchee's going to be coming off. Wellborn's going to play Anniston week 0 this upcoming Friday. It's a good game to see where they're at because we both know Anniston's going to be really good. It's a good game to see. But then you
Where's
get
that?
at Anniston.
At
But then you get a week off, right? So they're off week 1. So if you win, you can get over that win that or if you lose, you can get over that loss.
Right.
And they get 2 weeks of preparation for Ohatchee like last year. And then you get Ohatchee at home, where Ohatchee's going to have to turn around and play Anniston right the next week, which is going to be what I would expect to be a lot better of a game this year than last year. And then come to Wellborn. But I still, a lot of people
Can any of those
think
guys
Ohatchee would be.
Can any of them beat Piedmont or Fife though to win the North?
No,
Is Fuller back?
no. Look,
I can tell you,
I'm
tell
a
you
Wellborn
somebody
guy.
who can.
Plainview.
Yes, sir.
You heard
Freeze
it
take.
here first.
That's
why you
the
hit the
biggest
subscribe
freeze take
button.
I've heard.
I'm just telling you, man.
That's the biggest
Hey.
freeze take I've heard of freeze takes, bro.
Dude, they are bringing back about 17 or 18 starters, and they've added Sylvania's running back.
Who's good,
They're
apparently.
very good. They've
Sylvania
added
not
him.
bad last year.
They average about 270 across the front.
Hey.
They're very physical up front.
But who's going to score?
Do
on
they
Fife?
play in Five's region?
They no,
Yes.
yeah.
They do?
Listen,
They do?
Yeah.
All right, they're
Look.
going round 1.
all right. Listen to this. They
They're going
lost.
round 1.
How you going to score
Wait a
on
minute.
Fife though?
Time
That's
out.
the thing. I mean, I'm just
Their only 2 losses last year was to Fife and Piedmont.
Oh, I didn't realize this.
Yeah.
All right.
But then they're also going to get Sachs or Piedmont or Ohatchee
So
in the
now
first round.
here's the thing about it. If they beat Fife in the regular season and win that region,
If.
then they're going to be the number 1 seed. And then look out, I'm
They'll
telling
be-
you.
You're
Then-
saying
Hey,
Plainview-
then we get to beat them in
But
round
then-
1, so I love that.
then
Y'all
they'll-
didn't
they'll
beat
go-
5. Y'all
but
take
then
them out for us.
They'll go flop, they'll go upside down in the region when you go over in round 3.
They would
drop
play the
Piedmont.
4th.
And look, that's no
They'll play
disrespect. That's no
Piedmont like
disrespect to
third round.
Plainview. What
Good
Five
luck with
did
that.
last year was impressive.
Plainview
3A
is a-
Region 5 is a step ahead.
Bro,
Plainview
it's a whole
is a
other-
really
It's
good
them,
football
them
team.
and 5. It's them and 5. And I'm sorry, and that's no disrespect to Oakman or Plainview, but it's 3A Region 5 and 5.
It's just
That's it.
that
It's
area
been that for
there,
years.
that number 5, and we've been back and forth, and some people have one at 2 and the other team at 3. When you make it to round 3 or 4 in this region, we're talking about 3A, this region, what,
They're
region
there
4 or
every
5,
year.
all the time.
Every
You have
year.
to beat Piedmont, Fife. Now Piedmont run the 2A gauntlet for years and years for people that don't know. Then they moved up, and people said there's no way they can win 3A. First year
They
in,
did.
they won.
Yeah.
They beat the gatekeeper, Steve Smith, over the.
If you
I
look
mean,
at 3A Region 5, every year for the
These are
past
tough- these are
6
all
years,
good
they've had
teams.
at least 3 of their 4 teams in
So,
the quarterfinals.
In
3
my
of their
opinion,
4 teams in the
when
Final
you're
Four.
ranking, and just me personally,
Oh, I know,
when
it's
you're ranking
tough.
this 1 through 5 in this list right here, I'm gonna put right back over there in front of you. Any of those teams could be number 1. That's just my opinion. Y'all can say I'm crazy.
And the
I'm
bad
crazy.
thing is there's going to be a solid
Piedmont,
team.
I
Five,
think Montgomery
seven,
Catholic
and there's
athletically
gonna
is
be a
head and
solid-
shoulders above everybody,
Absolutely,
but Piedmont's
100%.
the second most talented.
Piedmont 5,
And I think
Ohatchee.
Sachs is the
and
third
Sachs.
most talented with the most experience.
Basically, those teams are going to fight each other
They're all
like tooth and
seniors.
nail to see who's going to play Montgomery Catholic.
But dude, for the ASHA not to put Sachs in the top 10
Disrespectful.
Well,
is a
well,
travesty.
it's the sports writers, not the AHSA. The sports writers
That's-
put
you're
that
right.
preseason poll.
You're
out.
right.
They don't
Can't- we
say-
can't put that on. Can't put that one on the AHSA.
These are the
It's
same.
sports writers,
These are the
and-
same dudes that
He's
wouldn't put
right.
us in the top freaking 5 after we were
Yeah.
7-0, and I mean
This-
we made the
it-
semis, and they still.
Reggie's
didn't.
right about
Yeah, this
that.
preseason poll this year.
Those are guys
really had me
like
scratching
those
my
are
head
guys
in some
like we know.
places.
That's who that is. That's
When
guys like
I
we
was
know.
asking
looking
this
for
question.
Sachs, I was looking
Yeah,
for
we-
Wilburn.
those
I
are the
just
guys-
didn't understand.
Where's my vote?
Those guys are the guys that you know. They're the
We'll get our vote
y'all
in
know who
here.
they are. That's
We'll
who they
get
are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
All
where's
right.
my vote at?
2A.
Oh, here we go.
Now we're getting on into
Coach
Cherokee
Heath,
County.
time
A lot of
Talk about
people, lot of
Cherokee
people have
County.
given me heat about one of these teams, but I'm telling you, when you see what I see,
Mars Hill,
Okay.
Lynette, BB Comer, Abbeville,
nobody wants
Clark
to talk about
County.
it,
You
bro.
got Spring Garden Panthers right here. Your local Coach Howard. You got
Oh,
Spring
no,
Garden.
I seen it.
I'm
in my
telling
number
you
eyes.
right
6.
now.
All right, and the thing is with this team right here, Spring Garden Panthers at number 6, quote, and I quote Jason Howard, we ain't very much to say, we're just a bunch of slow white boys. They ain't as good as y'all's kids on the other side of the water, end quote. Number 7, North Sand Mountain. number 8, Geneva County. 9 is Elba, and 10 is Faultville. Yeah, go ahead, take it away.
Who's this dark horse?
Let me tell you, Clifford Story feels really good about this Lynette team he's got this year, and he really thinks they could.
They've been in and out of the state.
He really
Years
thinks they
and
could be.
years
He really
and
thinks
years
they
and
could be
years.
back in the Super 7 and potentially beat. He
loaded.
thinks they potentially could beat Mars Hill Bible. But Mars Hill Bible is so far ahead when it comes to the South. I mean, the North, correct?
North, really.
They're so far ahead. I mean, look, no disrespect. I expect to see Spring Garden right back there again with them
I do
this
too.
year.
I do
And
too.
so, and I
agree.
think Jason Howard has one heck of a bunch. But again, you can't public and Spring Garden public or private.
No, they're public.
They're
But let me tell
When
you,
you get into
Coach
public versus
Howard
private-
loves
They
his
look like
number
private
6.
because they grow athletes out there.
Coach
And
Howard loves
they
his-
develop
grow
them in that
them
weight
out-
room.
they grow them
wants-
out of the cornfield,
He wants to
man.
be number 6
That's right.
because he's going to say what he tells them. You ain't no good. Nobody
right.
respects you. You're Spring Garden.
That's right.
We got to stay hungry.
Mhm.
Because to
Coach
me,
gonna
that,
put up some numbers.
out of this
Dude,
top
but
3, out
He is.
of this
Spring
top
Garden's got
4
a
right
really
here,
good football team.
and I
Good
know
staff.
number 1 and 2, Marcel and Lynette, their hands above everybody. I like Spring Garden to be up there in the top 5, close to Clark
Yeah,
County
they
and
got
stuff.
a lot,
But
that's
that's
Clark County's good.
But
Let me tell you.
that's just me
Clark
personally.
County's dude.
But
Man,
okay,
Jesus
Christ.
pause out, time out. That's just me being a
Abbeville's
little
their-
bit of a homer because I do love our guy, but I don't know much about Clark County, so I really couldn't say I would put my guys over
And
there.
that-
They have a very good coach.
And then
They're
Abbeville's the
good.
I don't
reigning
know.
runner-ups, but here's the thing, and this is what
Throw that wrench at 'em.
everybody's asking me about BB Comer.
There you go.
What do the BB Comer Tigers have to? How are they top 3? They lost in the second round last year to Abbeville. Here's the thing: they didn't get off the bus and play in the first half. They outscored Abbeville by 2 touchdowns in the second half. Well, this is how bad their first half was. They lost 56-34. All right,
Okay.
so they got outscored that bad. Coach Fawcett. He's got some dudes down there. Let me just tell you.
BB
I've
Comer.
been down there. I've been down there numerous times. The way the regions are lining up this year, him and Clifford Story, it's going to be a dog
BB
fight
Comer
for the
will be
region.
good.
I'm telling you. And if
Been a long time
if
since
that's a
they've been
freeze
good. Yeah, it
tape,
has.
it's a freeze.
20 years.
But here's what they
It
did.
is.
2 years ago. 2 years ago,
years.
they were in 3A Region 5. Or was
Yeah.
3A Region 6. Right? You had Piedmont and Welborn and Randolph County had a
Yeah.
3-way tie.
Good luck
And
with
who was supposed to be 4? Sachs or Weaver. You know who was? BB Comer.
Maybe
And then they went on the road in the first round of playoffs and won. As the 4th seed in 3A Region 6. I told you 3A Region 6 win, man. And then they go in the second round, they lose to who's a better Geraldine team, right?
Right.
So this year, I'm telling
He's
you,
got a sophomores getting recruited by Alabama.
he's got some guys, man. He's returning
He's got
10.
some dudes.
He's returning 10 of his 11 stars on both sides of the
Whoa,
ball.
I'll show you
Oh,
some.
God.
The only guy he's
Sorry
losing.
about that.
The only guy he's
I
losing.
apologize.
Only guy he's losing is Raphael Johnson, running back.
If he's replacing him with a guy's
22.
going out.
Yeah,
They got
look,
23
look,
stars.
the only guy he loses is
Listen to
Raphael
this.
Johnson. That's the only guy he loses running back, and he's replacing him with a guy being recruited by Alabama. So I mean, I'm telling you right now,
Guys,
They got
Wow.
22 stars.
Billy Comer's gonna be
See?
good.
He's 5'10". This kid is
So they basically have
5'10".
their whole
So-
team back.
This kid's 5'10", weighs about 205, and squats about
Linebacker
450,
too.
and can fly.
And he added a
Let's keep
coach.
up.
He added a coach from Hanley that's been doing a lot for him down there.
With 13 seniors coming back at Spring Garden and a senior quarterback and tailback, and Cooper catching the ball and Rogers catching the ball.
Oh, Spring Garden's gonna be
Oh,
tough.
absolutely.
I like them to be a way on in there in the playoffs.
Yeah, and
this year, too.
Comer's in the South too. You know, we're looking.
They'll have to
look,
meet
Yeah.
them.
Mars
Oh, the
Hill-
North, they're
Mars Hill
definitely a
and
threat.
Spring, but you look at Lynette, BB Comer, Abbeville, Clark County. Clark County's in the North, right?
No, they're
Clark
south.
County's in the
Okay,
South.
so they're all in the South right there.
These would all be teams.
And then Geneva County. I mean,
for
look, you talk about the Alabama
Spring
committee.
Garden Watchers, all these teams are going to be in the South
Emmanuel
mostly, except
Henderson.
Mars Hill, which they
Emmanuel
played last
Henderson.
year.
Is that
Running
the
back.
one that rushed for all those
He's committed
yards?
to Alabama. Geneva County's running back's committed to
Oh,
Alabama.
yeah, rushed for
Emmanuel
3,500.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Emmanuel
Oh, boy.
Henderson. And then Elba's a
Ridiculous.
respect thing again. Respect every year.
Yeah,
they're
they're always
they're
on, man.
traditionally winning.
They beat what?
Elba beat 5.
They
to
beat
win
5
the
to win the
championship.
that
That
was
was in.
But they've won 4 or
15,
5, 3 or 4.
15.
haven't they?
yeah.
Yeah, Pike beat them a few times. So,
Yeah.
I remember watching that game. That was
I
a
do too.
man,
They had
that
everybody
was
back off the team.
that was
the
a
year
jam
before.
up game.
So needless to say, 2A is going to be very interesting.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Spring Garden will make a definite run, and once again, if it all pans out like last year, they wouldn't play Marshall till late.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, Coach Heath at Sandrock, which we've all got to be close
There
with.
is a dark horse, my
I know.
friend.
They're working really hard. You've been up there and watching them work
That's
out.
right.
They're really getting after. They got some guys that
Corneo
look
and them,
good.
Those guys are good.
They're lined. They're loaded with seniors up on line. I got a whole list up down there of names. They got a lot of seniors up front, and they're going to move him out to to catch the ball some too, because he caught the ball a lot out of the backfield last year.
Oh, he's a
Be
dude.
careful with
He's
Sandrock. I'm just
Very
saying. Just be careful over here in the north.
Sandrock is a dark horse.
Because they're
buddy.
hungry. They got a little disappointed last year. They got 2 COVID loss games, so they're a little edgy. They feel a little disrespected. They lost by 1 point to my son's senior class up there by 1 in Cedar Bluff in a nail biter at the goal line
That's right.
on a takeaway,
That's right.
on a conversion. If they go for 2 to win the game, that's how their season ended. And they got some juniors that are ready to come back. And my son, being number 1 example, will tell you when you met Cornejo in the hole to tackle him, which he did several
he's a
times. He's a freshman last year.
Yeah, he's a freshman.
Marcus
last year.
said he was kind of nearly dragging me, Daddy. His legs are strong.
Yeah.
Now he's a senior player.
But they got about three or
Marcus
four.
had a good game against.
They got
They
3 or
did.
4 dudes as
I
big
thought
as
that was
strong as
Marcus'
him now.
best game.
Probably.
I
No,
thought
Valley
Sam
he had like 12
Why
pounds.
didn't he go to
Hey, they got 3 or 4
Sorry
dudes as
about
big
that.
and strong as him
We get on
in
a.
the weight room, though. You know.
Oh, I
Start
know.
arguing with Mark. I thought it was Sandrock.
Hey, what's my buddy's
He
name?
played
What's my
best.
buddy's name with the long hair, the receiver?
Owen Pruitt. Olin.
Oh, yeah, OT, man.
he
That's
can
my
play,
guy.
buddy.
I coached him Pee Wee, man.
He
He's
can
a-
play.
2A
Yeah,
Region
he's
4,
mad.
I expect Lynette and BB Comer to play for the Region Championship.
2A Region
I like
4, let me
Lynette
show that.
by just an edge.
Definitely, yeah.
And then Randolph County, I know, has lost a lot. So, I mean, Lafayette's definitely going to be 3 or 4. So, Randolph County, and
Did that guy graduate from Lafayette? That running back?
I'm not sure.
Where's Booby Whitlow?
And then Fayetteville's a team that'll make some improvements, but
He quit at 5. I remember that. Randolph County is interesting because at one point last year, if you don't remember, they were ranked number 1 in the state. Do you remember that?
yeah, preseason.
So this
polls.
for-
And then Randolph County was, and Lynette went over there and beat them. But I watched the game.
We
They
knew
beat them by
that.
about
I
30
knew
something.
they lost everything the year before. We knocked them out in the quarters the year before. Foggy game, couldn't even see. We went up there and then
Yeah, I remember
in
that.
2A Region 6. Look, somebody can have my whole life savings, which is not a whole lot. If Spring Garden were to lose to somebody in this region, because
No,
it
I
ain't
agree.
happening.
I
So
agree.
they're winning. I still
No pressure.
A
I
lot of
still
people like Westbrook Christian. A lot
I
of
just
people
don't
like
know
them.
with Westbrook, man.
I don't
I don't
either.
know, but I still kind
You
of
about
got
to
them
find
there.
out Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know,
know.
but I like Cleveland and Locust
Everybody
Fort
does,
to-
man.
to
That
be-
Cleveland
to
team
be-
is really a lot of talk
be a
around
playoff
here
team.
for Sandrock and Spring Garden. That's going to be a game for them. Spring Garden has to go to Cleveland this year.
Yeah, I heard they're supposed to be better.
Their
I
running
like,
back
I
graduated.
like
did he
Locust
not?
Yes,
Fort
that's
to
true,
get
he
back.
did.
I like
But-
Locust Fort to get back in the playoffs. Last time they made the playoffs, we drilled them by like 60. So you should have seen it 2 years ago, man. They were having one of the best
But-
school years in history, and we went down there and
Beat them by
we
60.
we jet and them drilled them. Let me just put it that way.
You got Locust Fort most
But I
improved
do
for that
like them
Region
to get
6.
back. I do like them to get back.
Now,
in the
I
playoffs.
like
Even after losing their
that
head coach.
Sandrock team is a dark horse. It's going to run around here. Just be careful, teams,
I'm
because
telling you, buddy.
Yeah.
Sandrock.
They're
Sandrock's
hungry.
Is
got
Sandrock in
dudes.
this region?
Yes.
Yes.
they're hungry.
Sandrock's in that. Sandrock is.
But
Well, I don't
had-
know where I missed
Well,
Sandrock.
they had a
at, to
bad
be
schedule
honest with
last
You
year.
probably
because
would
of
know what all they
COVID.
had.
Are they in that region?
They had a
They
lot.
are.
That's why I was
yes.
wondering.
Yeah,
I must. I
2A6,
completely
yes,
missed.
they
I
are.
completely missed them.
Yeah, they,
Well,
I would slide them in there then.
well, if
Well,
you didn't know what all they got going on behind the scenes, you wouldn't know.
yes, they
But
had a lot of
they're-
COVID stuff. Like they had COVID, and the team they were playing the next week had COVID, and then they had to
It was
cancel
a
another
bunch of
week for
crap.
COVID.
You can go look at their.
They had a
stuff.
tough season.
They're going to open up at Pisgah. Sandrock is. They're going to go to Westbrook Christian. They're going to go to
I got an
Gaston.
experience with Pisgah.
And then
Josh,
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
Josh every
they're
time
going to play
I hear
Southeastern.
Pisgah.
And then Sandrock is
We'll
going to
explain
be
it
at
off camera.
Collinsville. And they're going to play Locust Fort. Then they'll have West End, which is Walnut Grove. Then they'll play Spring Garden, guys. October the 15th will be Sandrock
Boy, they got
at
tough
home.
End of the year.
Then they got Cleveland. Then they play Cedar Bluff last.
And you mentioned West End, Walnut Grove. That's a team that also you may want to keep your eye on.
Okay.
New coach Derek Sewell. Those guys have been working pretty hard. I had a chance to watch them in the spring as well, and they didn't look bad at all. So that's another team to throw in the mix there. So
Spring Garden will be at Cleveland, by the way, September the 17th. If y'all ain't doing nothing, we probably won't get to go there. I think we're going to be at.
Man, I get two.
I got
off.
my schedule.
I get 2 off weeks a year.
I got our
Week 1 and
schedule
week
made
10.
Week 1 and week 10.
There you go.
So that's kind of a look at that 2A
It's always
region.
the same game
that
every
region
year.
six.
You know? Can't even go see
Let me
nobody
go back
else.
over here. 2A region 6 now. We'll get to
1A.
To 1A.
We lost some viewers when we said that.
I'll be.
I'm just
There
saying.
ain't too many people watching 1A anymore.
No,
After
man.
we've been on over an hour,
1A,
it's
I'm
going to drop off
te-
anyway.
No,
They better
people
watch this
love it.
one name, man. It's Cedar Bluff and
Cedar Bluff
I
and
think
Hills.
that region. Me
Y'all don't-
personally, I think that region's up for grabs. But go ahead.
Let me tell you something about. Let me
1A
go
region.
ahead into 1A right now. Brantley and Pickens County and Landon They're in their own world, man.
Same teams, man.
They're in their world. They're
I've
in
been
their
hearing
world.
for the past 20
Sweetwater
years.
every year's there, but they
They
can't
won
get
their
it.
first state championship in 1977. Sweetwater did.
Decatur
The
Heritage.
year I was born.
Decatur Heritage is a good team.
We played them in playoffs every year.
Maplesville. That's the
We played
respect
them. They
thing.
beat
Sweetwater.
us. They beat us in the
Yeah.
state. We lost to Sweetwater and Maplesville in state championship games.
Maplesville at 6, Milry at 7, and this is where I really love 1A is 8, 9, and 10.
Woodland.
Look, Woodland is a team,
Very good.
and I'm telling you right now, they moved down from 2A. Couldn't win in 2A. Moved down to 1A last year.
I'm
They
curious
have
about them,
arguably one of the best running backs in 1A in Parker Woodham,
Parker, yeah.
Really?
who is a really
Really
good
good.
running
I'm very
back.
curious about that.
Parker's a
Yeah,
really good.
I know Parker firsthand. Did a
Yeah,
camp with him
he's
2 years
good,
ago.
huh?
He's good. And then I like
The
Cedar.
quarterback's good,
Look,
too.
I got Cedar Bluff and Cooch Christian at 9 and 10. That could be either way. I 100% believe that it's Beckett versus O'Brien for the region championship in that 1A region.
I agree.
And so I think
not picking
I
either
think
one of them,
Coosa
but I'm thinking.
is going to be the next Mars Hill Bible in the next 2-3 years.
Yes, I agree.
100% believe that.
If he
Still
keeps
think
doing-
Mark is about a year or two away.
Yes, what he's
but I
doing-
think he's still going to win with
if
what he's
that
got
ball
now.
keeps
He's got the
rolling.
boy that was going to be Etowah's running back,
Yeah.
and he's moving down to 1A.
I've never wanted to go to Coosa so bad, and I'm not even in high school anymore. You know, like
I mean, let me
can I
go
get
on
2
and
more
tell you,
years of
I'm not
eligibility.
knocking 1A, but I work at
And he's
Chattanooga.
got look. His quarterback is the first. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna say it.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
If you took his quarterback,
His quarterback's the first. You know,
You can say what
if
you
you
want
took
to
his
say.
quarterback came to 1A,
Well,
You can say
something
what you want
else.
to on here.
he's got. But what'd you say? He's got 3 quarterbacks: Skaggs and
Yeah.
He's got 3.
Sub-Zero plays running back, right?
Well, that's
that
not
guy
an
might
ass
be
to
unstoppable from Etowah. I'm telling you, if Chattooga's quarterback come to 1A, he would rush for 5,000 yards.
Imagine if
Well,
Jet,
he's
He
got
would
it
do
there.
whatever he
imagine
wanted
if Jet
to.
Smith was in 1A.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's got.
He was?
I said, imagine if he would have
The,
paid.
the problem with Coosa right now is going to be youth.
Yeah.
Do they know they can beat these guys?
That's all it is.
Now, I can tell you this, and I've seen these guys work out. I don't know many teams in the state that I've been in that works out harder than they do in the weight room. And that's 1 through 7A. I've seen them all. These dudes, he kills these guys in the weight room. And it's no disrespect to any other teams, but you know he's got guys, and if you watch their media days, he's got guys gaining 50 pounds and 25 pounds, and their maxes are going up. I mean, it's incredible. He's brought the National Guard in to help, and I'm not even joking. The National Guard did his camp, which was he kept the kids up for 2 straight days and let them sleep for an hour.
Yeah, I think said they
Sounds
got
like war,
they got like an hour nap and then they got another nap a little bit later. I called him that night because I wanted to go and I couldn't. I forgot and I had to work, so I called him. I was like, "Man, I'm sorry I missed." And I said, "Tell me kind of what y'all did." And he said, "We're just playing all these games. Like you one of them put a jersey on and he runs down and he has to take it off, and the other one behind him has to put it on. And they have the race back, you know, just that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of team bonding type stuff.
Yeah.
That's what he's kind of doing."
But can
And
these
they're
guys
running.
can they get it in their head that they can compete at this moment? I mean, literally, you're going
Yes,
to
they
have
can.
you're going to have an 8th and a 9th grader starting at corner.
Ronnie
Yeah.
Royal did it.
Then you're going to have
Good.
Well,
then you're going to have an 8th
Ronnie Royal.
and a 9th grader starting at safety.
yeah, he's a little special.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, that cat that Marcus was trying to block when he was
he
playing
was in
right
7th
tackle.
grade.
He come off after the game. My son, he's like,
Talking about
"Dad,
Trey Woods.
that kid over there, that senior, he's pretty good." And I said, "No, buddy, I think he's an 8th grader."
No, he was a 7th grader.
I said, "Well, at the time he's 7th," and I thought.
about
Marcus said,
Trey
"There's no
Woods.
way. He's a senior, baby. Are you sure that's number so and so?" And Mark said, "Oh, him? No, he's 7th grade." Marcus was like,
Oh, that's great. Well, I mean, he's
Well,
still smoking.
in his
He's good.
defense,
If he did smoke him.
there's nobody put a hand on him in spring.
Right.
Marcus
Nobody.
just trying to get his feet
Nobody
to
on that
block
team
him.
can.
I mean, it's just nearly impossible for him just try to keep him out of the plays. I mean, and
One-
he's just a kid.
One more X factor is they're going to average about 270 up front
Really.
on their offensive line.
Well, if they've got the boy that was going to be Etowah's running back,
He can't get over that.
That's it. Man.
come on, guys.
All right, 1A Region 5. Here's what I got. I like Woodland to win this region, but I like Winterboro to you know, what Coach Mansfield still did down there last year in his first year, taking over. I think Winterboro will be there. I think Donahoe bounces back from what COVID really damaged, and injury really damaged Coach Sanders and Donahoe last year. So I like them to be back in the playoffs along with Wadley. And so those are the 4 teams. And then 1A Region 7, I think it's Cedar Bluff and Coosa. I like Coosa to win the region, to be honest with you. And
Now, a lot of people are talking up
but
something.
I think what Coach Beckett
Something,
has
man.
could very well, Cedar Bluff could very well win the
Well,
region.
we're very young.
And like I said, I got them ranked above Coosa right now. But and then I like Valley Head and Summerton. Summerton probably 3, Valley 4, but those two.
He's told us that he had a little more of an insight about Summerton, and from what we've been told up here, just from what and all I can go by is what I watched last year. Is we played Summerton at Cedar Bluff, very physical, very well coached. Coach gets after it. The players work out hard, and they got some guys coming back. They did lose their tailback. Marcus said he was probably one of the toughest guys he had to tackle all year, beside Luke Welch or maybe Cornejo. It's just very, very hard to get a hold of this guy. And they got a lot of those guys coming back. And Valley Head lost a lot of their players. Preston and them. The Burt kid, not Preston, but the Burt kid, the quarterback lost him. It's a big probably part from Valley Head, so we're not really disagreeing with what Naaman's saying. You could flip this 2 and 3 or
I think Gilful gets in there at 4, at 3 or 4.
See, I don't. To be completely honest with you,
just
guys,
don't know.
I don't know a lot about Gillsville, so I can't
most people don't. That's
Their
why
defensive the front 3 is nasty.
we try to get
After
them all
that,
over.
They're huge.
I just know from what I've seen in the past, and that's what I have to judge off right now.
Yes,
And I need to see something different in order for my opinion.
They had
to
a real
change.
good running back last year, but
He's back.
No, they lost him.
Is the guy not back that can throw the football 70 yards?
Yeah,
what
Keelan.
positions he play?
Yeah,
He plays
I
in.
think he's going to be one of the running backs. Maybe
He is he threw a football at their
Oh,
camp
yeah, I know,
that he
yeah.
carries them out there.
I know.
And I said, dude, that ball just went 60 plus
know.
He's one of
yards.
the D linemen you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
He plays
he's one of
in.
the 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him and Thor and the big
You're
white
talking
guy.
about, yeah, they're huge.
I was like, Jesus. But dude, I said, bro, would you tell him to throw that football to us? And he literally was almost 70 yards from us.
And they don't have to run. and throw
He
it
don't
either.
even step into it.
No, he don't have
He
to.
don't even back step and get momentum. He just takes one little step and goes 70 yards.
Keelan Higgins, he went to church with me. Had him in our church class.
Unbelievable.
Played him a lot. And Jacob Gordon, Jacob may be coming back to play. I don't know.
I don't know.
See, I've heard he was.
Reggie's real big on 1A football. So Reggie, what's your thoughts? Reggie just chilling.
I told Todd earlier that when we started at Joe's, I was at that time I was a big school guy. I just mainly watched big school ball, and I think the first small game we went to was Donahoe and Coosa.
It was.
And I was like, okay, this is different. And then a few weeks later we go up to Fife, and I'm like, this is different, but I like it, because you got the small communities, everybody knows everybody, and when we walked. The minute we walked into Fife, everybody treated us like family, and still do to this day. And I'm a fan of small school ball now.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I respect it. Because those kids, and no disrespect to the larger schools, they tend to want it a little bit more.
Well, when you have to have your football team with who lives in your town, and you live in a small town.
The difference is this, and y'all are right. Everything you said is correct. Being at 1A, Cedar Bluff, went to school there. Gillsville, Mom taught school there. When you have to play both ways of the football all night, my son never come off the field. They dress 19. It just is different. The coach knows them from baseball and basketball, and there's a guy like me that helps them on the sideline, teaches their church classes and knows them personally, and it's been their birthday. It's just a little different 1-2A football. Baseball, basketball.
When
It's
you go to
just,
scrimmage,
just tight.
what's funny is when you go to scrimmage, you have to use half line stuff.
Oh, I know.
You
They
can't
had to
even
do it.
go
You know what
full
they
line
did?
like 11 on 11.
They
Or
had
you
to put,
can
but
mix
if,
your goods.
That's right.
So let's say if the starting defense, I'm gonna give you an example. This is how it is in case you bigger school watchers. Marcus playing linebacker last year, him and Preston. So you put the starting defensive up. Well, he's also the right tackle, and Preston, the other linebacker, is also the fullback. So they have to go against just the left side of the line.
Half
And
line
they know which way it's coming. I mean, you can't go the other
Because
way.
if you don't, then you're going to go against the 7th grade JV players, or you put a garbage can out there. That's literally how it had to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's why teams in 1A that can add players and dress about 30, where you don't have kids playing both ways, that's the recipe of success. That's a 75% win when you got a kid that's not going, I just snapped the extra point, and I just went on kickoff. Now I need to try to make a tackle on the next play.
Yeah.
That's how it was for us last year in 3A. We had guys play,
impossible.
and it's like, and this is again, no hate towards Piedmont, but they don't have that many guys playing both sides compared to.
I don't know if they have
Go to
anything.
Ohatchee.
Just a few.
Go to Ohatchee. Go to Woburn.
Jakari,
There's always
These
gonna be
guys
a
are
few.
playing on both sides of the ball every snap.
Every snap.
Jet was the quarterback and the middle linebacker and the punter and he snapped.
And
For the
even-
kicking. And and he didn't go off the field a snap unless his helmet got knocked off and he had to.
Damian Ramsey at 4A center.
Yeah,
when they
he
played
played both
Hanley,
ways.
guess who made a lot of tackles against Meadows? Damian.
Alexander
Guess who was
played
running the
both
ball?
ways.
Damian.
Yep.
That's gonna be a good.
Parnell Williams played both ways.
That's gonna be a good, interesting
not.
matchup when him and Meadows plays. two different running styles, two different running backs.
Did Horton and Carnell Williams both play?
Well,
both
now
ways?
Horton played a little, but Jermaine Howard was the other quarter,
Okay.
mainly in that defense.
Well, I'll mention this before we
That's
move
all
on.
I got to.
Cedar Bluff is going to be playing at Spring Garden first game, then they're going to be Valleyhead at Summerton at Dade County, Georgia. Cedar Bluff, September 17th, and then they'll have North Sand Mountain, Woodville. They'll play at Gainesville. They got Appalachian home. They go to Coosa Christian. The two teams we're just talking about. Cedar Bluff will play at Coosa October the 22nd, and they'll finish off the year at Cedar Bluff playing Sandrock, and then of course cannot leave out Gainesville. Coach Knapp, close friend. We got to always talk about Coach Knapp. Coach Knapp, they're going to start with Whitesburg Christian. They're going to travel to Raglan. They got Appalachian at Coosa Christian. Gales will travel to Coosa Christian September the 9th. If you want to see that game, be Knapp versus O'Brien. And then they go right back the next weekend to Valleyhead, host Asbury, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's Asbury. They're just a.
Asbury's coach.
And then the 30th, they got Summerton Christian. It's going to be that's going to be kind of the side. And then they got Cedar Bluff the next week. Then they go to Woodville. They're going to be open. Then they'll have Alabama School of the Deaf. Gainesville will finish the season the 29th of October.
Namath's going to step out on the limb right here.
Bo wants me to make a pick before y'all
let's go
close this
Thursday
thing
night.
down, man.
Thursday night.
Who we
This
picking?
is not Average Joe Sports Talk or Matt
Oh.
Todd. This is Namath making this pick.
Tuesday night I'm going to make it, so I want
All right, so he's going to go ahead and pick that first Thursday night game. It's going to open up the season this year.
You talking about with?
Coosa Christian and Westbrook.
Coosa Christian Westbrook. Hold on a minute. Coosa Christian plays Westbrook. And they play
Thursday
Do it
night.
like
This
a baby reveal. That would be.
That'd be awesome.
You have the thing on there. We're gonna try to figure
Here we
it
go.
out.
First game of the season, Westbrook and Coosa. Coosa by 2 touchdowns.
Ooh. Give me a score on it.
I don't do scores.
You just say by 2 touchdowns.
Yes, I don't say scores.
Look, I just got one thing to say about Coosa.
Westbrook.
If they've got
Westbrook
Edelwald's
lost.
running
Westbrook lost too much. Westbrook lost too
That's
much.
all I'm just gonna say.
They got him.
Westbrook lost too much. I need to see more. Coosa's
Westbrook lost a
Coosa's
lot.
feeling good. The confidence is there. I
New
think.
Jersey's-
I heard
I think
Westbrook
it's the
lost
game
a lot.
that gets everybody going. Whoa, Coosa Christian, like these guys.
The
are
biggest pickup Coosa had, though, is their coach, Teddy
Actually,
Whitmire.
what game y'all got? Sandrock and or is that a jamboree? No, y'all doing
That's
jamboree.
just-
Do you agree with that?
Gilville and Whitesburg play Friday.
Surprising.
Plainview will be a
Anderson and Wellborn can't pick because I'm Wellborn's play.
Yeah, we'll find out a lot about Plainview.
Who they playing?
They play Cedar Bluff and it's Jamboree.
Oh, jamborees. I don't do jamborees. Sorry.
You don't pick Jamborees?
No, I don't do
They're
jamborees.
a
I don't even
bigger-
pay attention to when they're happening.
No, I don't.
We'd
I
assume
never did
because
either.
Plainview being a bigger school with Cedar Bluff kind of starting over, that Plainview will probably put
Who
in
else is
their
playing?
JV team and let them.
Oh, there's-
they're going to play their big team.
Hatchie
too,
and
so-
Heflin
Yeah.
play this week.
so.
Well, Bo remembers this. Back when we were in school, your spring game was a game.
Alexandria's
It wasn't no
playing
jamboree.
Alexandria.
It was a game. You practiced about 3
I'll be
weeks
there.
for it,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah, got destroyed, or I did. Nah.
you?
We played Etowah. We used to win them all.
Oxford and Thompson.
They play,
They played in the
Friday.
spring. Oh, they
Yeah.
play Friday.
I'll
The
make a pick on
sponsors up
that.
here, Jerky
Oh,
Eye
is
Clinic
it?
guys. We do
Oxford,
appreciate
Thompson,
Jerky Eye
Thompson.
Clinic. They are an
Oxford, how many?
We've had a good night tonight. We've got 100 shows going
Thompson's
in
too
here.
good.
They outscored them.
Gym, always been a very
35,
appreciative
34.
sponsor. No doubt about that.
Second half
Kevin,
last year.
Farm Landscaping guys. We appreciate y'all hanging around with us.
Yes,
And
sir.
of course, Scott Lloyd's Lawn and Landscaping. It's always a good thing, and we thank all our sponsors. Couldn't be possible without 100 shows of them. And we can stay and do this all night. But unfortunately, we all got to get up and go work.
Yeah, I gotta go. Like
Not
that
me.
this weekend.
3:30.
Y'all have fun with that.
comes early this way.
I'm having with my girlfriend in her apartment.
3:30.
I get up at 3:30.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got to
working
head
fine.
back to Gadsden, my friend.
Father,
Appreciate you having us
Hey, I got
on.
a friend
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you
great.
guys.
Name it. Good job. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, thank you guys. I was a late addition.
Yeah, we're glad you come, Reggie. You're
Appreciate
always
it.
welcome here. One day we're going to
Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Y'all make sure y'all watch.
All right, yeah.
One day when the
Definitely.
studio comes, we may be in some works for that,
Yeah.
and I'll have a real place. And
Y'all
we can,
come.
I'm gonna have like a table. I want to do this every Sunday. This is fun.
Oh, I'm digging it.
Happy 100.
Yep.
Thank you.
I
Guys.
want to come up here on some Sundays during the season.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't.
We'll
We'll
talk
have
a little
on guests.
trash, man.
Probably every other week we have a coach.
What
you
y'all
know.
talk about?
They talk about all the
We
games.
talk
High
about
school.
college football.
Alabama's
college.
winning, no doubt.
We actually do college after.
Yeah,
Bama's
we did high school,
repeating.
30 minutes to do
My
college. 30
Cincinnati
minutes.
Bengals are about to be better than they
I did see AJ McCarron play. If you want to talk about that, he looked fairly well. Trevor Lawrence looks semi.
AJ McCarron needs to hang it up.
He looked okay. He's a good backup.
Felipe Franks.
He's
Made him look
a
silly.
good backup. And Trevor Lawrence.
Are you a Falcons fan?
No, not anymore.
Who you pull for?
The Titans.
Oh, I like Titans. I like Derek. You're a 49ers fan, I'm assuming, right?
Trevor Lawrence.
Who you
He
pull for,
looked
Reggie?
semi okay.
I'm not an NFL guy.
Are we still on there?
Yes.
Oh,
we
okay.
are.
Happy 100.
All right, we'll cut it off. We'll stop streaming. All right, thank you guys. We love y'all.
Yeah.
Peace. Thank all y'all for coming. Love you
Tuesday
guys.
night,
Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Check them out. Average Joe Sports Show. Type it in YouTube.
high school
Average Joe
pick'ems.
Sports Talk.
Sports Talk.
You can get them about anywhere. All right.
Yep.
See y'all. Peace.